click on the Build Your Own Model link in the middle of the Clearinghouse website. On the Introduction to the Tool page, click on Build Your Own Model button at the bottom. Log into your account. If you have not taken time to create an account, do that now. It's a fast process and you have to have it to be able to build models on this website. On the main menu, we're going to click Add a New Model, but please note that you could also view or edit a model or delete a model had you previously built one. Click Add a New Model. On the Getting Started page, you're going to go to the lower right corner and click Select Model Framework. We need to select a framework that we're going to build our model on. And that could be the generic building blocks model, which is going to have the competencies for tiers 1, 2, and 3, the foundational competencies. We could select an industry model that we want to base our model on. You could select multiple industry models up to 3. If you choose to do that step, then you want to hold down the control key on a Windows machine, hold down your command key on a Mac to select multiple models. You could select a custom model had you previously built one, or multiple custom models, again the same way as we just described. I'm going to go with construction. Let's do highway and civil construction. And we're going to call this our civil construction model. Okay. Click Next. I'm looking at Tier 1 Personal Effectiveness Competencies. I have some choices to make. I will notice on this page, if I look down in the blocks, that the competencies are listed in the larger text, the larger bold text, and underneath each are your key behaviors. I could select all the competencies at this level if I wanted to include them all and their key behaviors. I could select individual ones if I wanted to go down through the page and select those. I could add in competencies if I so chose. Now, I could add in certain ones and then add in my own to have a combined fuller set. I'm going to, for the sake of time, just click Include All, save and move next, and then I will see Tier 2 Academic Competencies. So again, same thing. I could include all or include certain ones. I could add my own competencies. I could edit the ones that are here. So you'll notice where I see basic computer skills, there's a little edit link there. I could edit this competency. Underneath my key behaviors, I could also do some editing here if I wanted to change that information. For the sake of time, I'm going to click Include All, save and move next, and I'm going to see Tier 3, which is our workplace competencies, and I'm going to include all those as well. I'm now going to get a review screen that's going to allow me to look at tiers 1, 2, and 3, and then I can make a choice. Do I want to move on to Tier 4 and add in some competencies that are going to be industry specific, or do I want to stop and save the file? Okay, so reviewing my model, I see my personal effectiveness competencies here, my academic, my workplace. I could, again, return to work on these levels again. I could move on to Tier 4. I could stop and save. If I stop and save here, I only have these 3 levels included. There are no industry-specific competencies in there just yet. So I'm going to click Select Tier 4, and we're going to move on to Tier 4. So if I scroll down, I'm going to see industry competencies that are included on Tier 4. You're probably going to need to add some competencies on Tiers 4 and definitely on Tier 5 if you're building a model. You can do that in the website. You can do it once you get the model downloaded. Just know if you do it once you get the model downloaded, then those competencies that you add will not live in the website. So if I were going to add competencies, I would probably do it now, and let me just show you what that screen looks like. So you're going to add in the name of your competency, your definition, the name of your key behavior, and your description. And then you would just do add another or done. So I'm just going to hit cancel. And I'm going to add all competencies on tier 4 for the sake of time. Save and move to next. Now at this point, I could, again, return to previous tiers to do some editing. I could stop and save, or I could move on to tier 5. Tier 5 does not have competencies included. If you move on to tier 5, you will need to have your competencies listed out so you can physically add those in. And you add those in by simply clicking that add competency link. It's a really simple process to do. But I'm going to go ahead and do stop and save. And so here it says, do you want to build another model, or do you want to return to the main menu, or do you want to download your worksheets? What do you want to do? So I'm going to download the industry model and worksheets. So this is the model that I just constructed. And I've got these sheets. My model is in a couple of formats. So I've got a Word version of my model. I've got an Excel version of my model. The Excel version is the one that I tend to migrate to. It's just easier to edit a spreadsheet to me than it is the Word file because of the formatting, etc. So what you're going to see once you open up your model, let me click Enable Editing up here. So now it's mine. I can do with it as I please. I can edit it here if I want to. It doesn't matter. It's got the title that I typed in, and I start to see, here's my tier 1 competencies, my personal effectiveness. My tier 2, my academic competencies. My tier 3, workplace competencies. My tier 4, industry-wide competencies. So this is a spreadsheet version of my model. It's mine now. I can now download it to my computer. Again, remember, if you're editing, once you get this downloaded to your computer, the edits that you make on your computer are not going to live in the website. And that's fine. Just keep it in mind. You get additional worksheets with the model that you build. Those worksheets are an Identify Credential Competencies worksheet, a Curriculum Analysis worksheet, an Employer Analysis worksheet, and a Gap Analysis. Let's take a look at each one of these so you can get an idea of what's underneath each one, or included in each one, I should say. So I am on the Competencies worksheet, the Identifying Credential Competencies worksheet. And I notice that over on the left, here are all the competencies, and on each of these sheets, this area in column A does not change. It is the very same. It's the subsequent columns that change. So this one I have not important, preferred, essential, included in credential requirements. So this is my value of competency. In training, we did an activity where we prioritized competencies, and we prioritized them as essential or not important. This is the exact process. So this file would be terrific to use in a team environment where you're developing out your competency set. So once I click Enable Editing, then it's mine. I save it. I give it a name. I can edit it any way I want to. So this will allow me to work with my team and have a competency set file ready to go that I can then start to edit. The next one down is Curriculum Analysis Worksheet. File name gives it away. So let's take a look at this one. Again, column A is going to be the very same as the previous file. However, the subsequent columns will change. So this one says course 1, 2, 3, 4. This is curriculum analysis. And so what I could do with this file is take the competencies and do an audit against my various courses to see, are those competencies met in that course? You could map to courses if you're building out this way. You can change the name of these columns any way that you want to. You could build in additional sheets and have these on a tab. It's totally up to you. But again, this is a great file to do your curriculum analysis on. My next one down, employer analysis. Again, file names giving it away. So let's see what we can do. So column A is going to remain the same. We know all the competencies are there. Columns B, C, and D have not important, preferred, and essential. So what I might do with this file is, once I get my model constructed, is to pass this file to my workforce partners and have them go through and look at the competencies and rate, as far as positions in their company, what competencies are preferred, essential, or not important. So great file to be able to work with your workforce partner or partners. Okay, gap analysis. Let's take a look at this one again. File names, giving it away. So my column A I know is the same. My subsequent columns, achieved and needs. So in this gap analysis file, I could use it several different ways, but just a couple of ways that I can think of might be to use for in the assessment of learners. So the learner performs their assessment. I've got all the notes from that, and then I can take those notes and come back to this spreadsheet and say, okay, learner achieved mastery, or there needs to be some remediation. That's one way I might use it. A second way I might use it is if I were going to do a gap analysis with curriculum and work through that way. So does the competency achieve, or does it need some remediation or some fixing for me, not remediation? So anyway, that's a great way that I might use that sheet. But you will come up with ways to use these worksheets on your own. I've done some looking around the web, and many colleges and schools out there are using this website and using these worksheets as a springboard to get going on their competency development. And they have done some really extensive work on those. So that's just a step forward for you to get in here to be able to use this tool to get you moving quickly down that competency development path.